Hello students, welcome back to our channel. Today I'll explain you Chief Seattle's speech summary in English. Okay. Chief Seattle's speech is a response to Governor Stevens' proposal to acquire the land of the Red Indians. So actually Chief Seattle's speech was a response to the letter, okay, which talks about the proposal of, buying the lands of the Red Indians. Okay, so white Americans want to buy the Red Indians land. Okay, so it is a proposal which was given by the Governor Stephen to the Red Indians. Okay, so as a response from the Red Indians, Chief Seattle wrote this one as a speech. Okay, so and also he gave it as a speech also. So Chief Seattle, the leader of the Suquamish tribe, responds to the proposal in an ironic way, so as to make the white men realize how they have been oppressing the Red Indians and that the Red Indians cannot afford to fight the white men in terms of their martial strength against bringing in more and more destruction to the land. So actually, he is the leader of the Suquamish tribe. What is the Suquamish tribe here? So the Red Indians or Suquamish tribe. Okay, so he was leading the Red Indians like a leader. Okay, so there he was the leader and he gave a response to the chief's letter or the proposal. Okay, and he was telling everything in an ironic way. That means he made some comedy there and he was telling, it's not like comedy itself, it's like criticism. Okay, so he made some kind of a criticism on the white Americans. Okay, realize how they have been oppressing the Red Indians. So they were always oppressing the Red Indians at any point or any perspective. Okay, so every time that the Red Indians cannot afford to fight the white men in terms of their martial strength. So actually here the people are very few in number if we talk about the Red Indians, and whereas the white Americans are many in number. Okay, so we cannot fight with the white Americans. So the Red Indians were thinking like that and afford to fight the white men in terms of their martial strength against bringing in more and more destruction to the land. Even if we do that, that means we are making lots of mistakes. Okay, so if we do the war, that means we are making a mistake. Okay, so if we do that, definitely we gonna lose the war and we can be defeated by the white Americans. There will not be any use. So why should we participate in the war if there is no use? Okay, so they thought like that and they were not making any war with the white Americans. Okay, therefore he puts forward certain condition to the proposal of acquiring the land. So at the time he gave some conditions. So if you really wanted to buy my lands, Red Indians lands, then you have to follow some condition. Okay, we are going to give you one condition in written. What is that? You have to allow us. Okay, you have to allow us to see our ancestors' tombs, and also you have to give all the rights over our land, and you have to treat that one as a sacred one, holy one. Okay, you have to treat that one as a holy one. And so for the sake of the simplicity, let us summarize speech in points form. So actually he gave some conditions, and after that, for the sake of simplicity, let us summarize. So I'll give you only few of the points in order to summarize the whole short story, Chief Seattle's speech, which was written by Chief Seattle himself. Chief Seattle begins by saying that the nature has been a great sympathizer and will not always remain so if we do not respect nature. So actually, Chief Seattle begins, he was telling always about, he is always talking about the nature itself. There will be nothing else. He always gives lots of importance to the nature, and also he was telling that I am a great sympathizer for the nature because I am showing lots of pathetic ideas. I feel very pathetic about the nature and I am showing lots of sympathy towards nature because these white Americans are spoiling and exploiting the nature in all the ways, okay, whichever they find out. So always remain so if we do not respect nature. So if you continue the same way, if you continue to destruct the nature, if you continue to exploit the nature in the same way as it is going on right now, you are not going to have the safe life because the nature gonna curse you and you are going to have the natural calamities if you destruct or exploit the nature continuously like this. Okay, so he was giving warning to the white Americans also. He was criticizing the white Americans in all the ways. He was not afraid of the white Americans, those who are in power and also those who are very in number. So he doesn't feel any fear in his words. Okay, he said whatever he wants to say. Okay, so there we have to appreciate the guts of our Chief Seattle. And great chief of Washington is referred to as good father, as he sends his word of goodwill and friendship. So actually he was calling that person, okay, the governor chief, he was calling that chief, Stephen's son, as a good, okay, because he sent a proposal, no, so that's why I'm treating him as a good one. And after that he was asking our friendship, okay, so that's why I'm calling him as a good father. He was also making criticism there by calling the chief of the Washington, sorry, the chief of the, or the governor of the white Americans as good father, okay. Chief Seattle says that the great chief does not need their friendship and it is greatness. And Chief Seattle was telling that it is not much needed. We do not need your friendship, okay. And it is greatness of the Washington chief as he has extended the hands of friendship, as they are more powerful and strong than the Red Indians. So even though you are telling that you need a friendship with our people, but we are not very happy with your ideas, and we may not make friendship because you people are very strong enough and we are very few in number. That means we are very less people if we compare with your people. We were many in number in the past. We used to have large groups and many people are there in our tribe, but unfortunately those people got dead because of the wars which were conducted by your people. So now you're not very much interested to make friendship with your people and with you. So that's what he said. And after that, Chief Seattle then states how at one point of time, Red Indians were a large tribe. So he was talking about the past experience of having so many people in the tribe of the Suquamish or the Red Indians, okay. So, but are limited to a very few then. So now if I compare with the past generations, they are very few in number right now. So they do not have many people on their back, okay. So, but instead of mourning the fact, Chief Seattle wants to look forward. So as I cannot cry for those people, as I cannot, as I cannot shed tears for those people whom I lost already. So I can do one thing. What is that? I have to look forward for the future. I have to think about the well-beingness of the people who are still there in my territory. So that is my responsibility. If I mourn for those people, I might waste the time. So there will not be any use if I do that. Okay, so that's what he said. And he points out how youth is impulsive and therefore indulges in warfare which destroys the family, nature and makes the world and nature suffer. So youth wanted to make the war against the white Americans. The youth of the Red Indians really interested in making the war against the white Americans. So they wanted to take the revenge on the white Americans because they only defeated the people of the Suquamish tribe, and many of the people got dead because of those white Americans. So now they wanted to take revenge on the white Americans. So whereas our older people, they are telling that it's better for us to be calm, because if we do the war, then we may lose these less people also. If we lose each and every one in our group, then what can we do? There will not be any use if you do that. We may lose some people. So if we lose you as our family, then what can we do? So the parents, the father and mother of the young children, okay, so what they gonna do? So they may have they may not have any person to take care of their family. So there will not be any use if you commit a war against the white Americans. So don't do that, okay. So that's what the people were telling when they wanted to make war. And so Chief Seattle suggests that the white men and the native people should never think of hostility. So actually they do not have any kind of friendship. They never wanted to make any friendship with each other. So they were telling that, so whatever you wanted to take from us, okay, we are ready to give you, but you have to treat the land as a sacred one. So that's what they said. And after that, then Chief Seattle mentions that the God of the white men is not the same as theirs, as the white man's God only protects the whites and forsake the Red Indians. So now Chief Seattle was telling that your God is a very good God. Okay, so he was showing all the path to your children, and he was leading those children as an infant children. Okay, so he was showing all the clear path, and he was not giving any kind of problems or difficulties in the paths or the ways of the white Americans. And he was treating you like infant child, and he was playing a father's role in your lives. Okay, so that is a very good thing for you. So you are very fortunate to have such a kind of a father and God in your life. Okay, so whereas my God, so if it would be your God can be mine also, then your God is, so that God, if we have the same God for you and for my people, so what happens? The God is taking care of the white Americans and the God is not taking care of the red Indians. He is not showing any compassion. Okay, so any kind of sympathy. There is no ideas about the red Indians and they are like orphans. Okay, so nobody is guiding them. So they were all like orphans. Okay, so my God, if I have a separate God, he forsake us, he forgot about us, he doesn't give any word to the people of his own. Okay, so that's what happening in our lives. So same as the white man's God only protects the whites and forsakes, that means he is not taking care of our people. And he moreover says that the God of the white man is partial to the red Indian. So your God is showing some kind of partiality. If we have the same God, that means that God shows lots of love and all the affection towards the white Americans, and we are forsaken. That means we were not taking care of, we are not taking care by the God. Okay, if we have the same God, that God is not showing any interest on the red Indians. He is not showing any love or affection towards the red Indians, but he loves white Americans very much. Okay, so he emphasizes that these two races have distinct origins and therefore there are many differences between them. So actually he was talking about the two races. Okay, so distinct origins, that means they have different origins, they have started in a different way, and also therefore here there are many differences between them. They have so many differences. Okay, so what are they? Seattle mentions the sacredness that they associated with the ashes of their ancestors. So here Seattle was telling that our sacredness, we treat the ashes of our ancestors also in a very respectful manner. We took everything we treat everything with a lots of respect if it talks about, if it involves with our ancestors. Okay, so ancestors, and therefore how they consider their land to be sacred, even though, and also we can treat our land as a very holy one, whereas the whites move away from their father's grave. So when they are moving by the side of their father's graves or tombs, they may not show any kind of sympathy towards those people or any kind of respect from their hearts to those ancestors, but they move as normally. They do not have any change in their mindset also while they are passing by the way of the graveyard of their ancestors, whereas red Indians show lots of respect and attention, great respect to the ancestors. Okay, so that is the main difference between the white Americans and the red Indians. Okay, he mentions how in few decades the red Indians will face certain kind of extinction, and he also warns that someday or the other, the whites too will face the same destiny. So now he mentions that few decades ago, what happens, will face the same. You are also going to have the same problem, because death is common for each and everyone. As my people got dead, your people are also going to die one day. Okay, it's not there will not be any exception for anyone. Okay, so everyone has to die one someday or the other. Whites too will face the same destiny. So what is that destiny? Death. Everybody has to die one day, whether you are rich or poor or beautiful, ugly, however you look like, doesn't matter, but you have to die one day. There will not be any exception, whether you are a white American or a red Indian, whatever it is, which territory you belong to, which community you belong to, doesn't matter. So you have to die one day. So that is the common destiny for red Indians and white Americans. So Chief Seattle accepts the proposal of the acquisition of land of the governor of Washington. Okay, so but puts forward a condition. So actually I can say okay for your proposal. Actually you asked us to sell our lands, so I'm telling you yes, I'm not gonna stop you. Okay, we'll give you our lands to you, but puts forward a condition. So what is that condition? That they will not be buried from the visiting ashes or tombs of their ancestors, as the land is sacred to them. So you have to allow our people to watch the tombs of their ancestors at any time, whenever they wish to watch or whenever they wanted to visit the tombs of their ancestors. So you have to give the permission for that. We do whenever we like to do. Okay, so you should not keep any kinds of rules and regulations for that. We may have all the rights over my ancestors' tombs, and we can go and visit that tomb whenever we like to do it. Okay, we can watch those tombs, okay, at any time. So he ends his speech by saying that the white man will never be alone, as even if the red Indians vanish, even you may think that one day we gonna die. Okay, all of the people in the red Indians, they gonna die one day. Don't think that we gonna leave you so simply. Okay, our spirits can roam here and there only. We cannot leave this place easily, and our spirits can wander here itself. That means move here only. Don't think that we gonna leave you, and don't think that death are very weaker than the survivors. Okay, so the spirits of the red Indians will always populate the land, and also he was telling that our spirits can stay here only because we got so many sentiments and memories with these lands. Okay, and he further requests the white men to deal with the land sympathetically as for him, and the dead are not powerless, and people who die merely change the world. And he was telling that, okay, you have to deal that land with a lots of sympathy, because if you would not do that, that means you made a biggest mistake. Okay, so because death are not powerless, and the powerless those dead people can also change the world. Okay, don't think that they are powerless. Those who got dead, they may have so many powers according to the Chief Seatil. So that is the summary of the Chief Seatil speech in English. Thank you.